Hey there, YouTube, Mr.Lubufu, continuing on with my Battle for Zendikar pre-release primer set review, whatever you want to call it. This time we're going to be tackling black cards. Make sure to check out the other videos if you haven't seen them yet. And now let's just go ahead and hop right in. Altar's Reap. I like Altar's Reap more than most people, but even still, it's not like great by any stretch of the imagination. It is an instant speed, sack a creature, draw 2 cards. It's okay. Not great, not bad. Blood Bond Vampire is one of the better if you gain life triggers, because getting a +1/+1 counter is the most, like, it slowly gets bigger. It's, currently a hill giant, which is already a rate that's not unplayable. So this card's pretty good. If you have the, it's also an ally, which is not unreasonable, so card's pretty solid. Bone Splinters, I like Bone Splinters more than I like Altar's Reap, that's for certain, even though it's a sorcery. Being able to trade, like, an Eldrazi Scion for a real threat is not bad. So I think this card's, completely playable. It's pretty good. It's like right on that borderline where you're probably going to play a couple copies in a deck and you'll be okay with that. Carrier Thrall. So it's a 2-mana 2/1, and when it dies you get an Eldrazi spawn. Seems completely reasonable. It's not bad, but it's not the bear that we want, but it's the bear that we deserve. I like it. It's fine. Next we have Complete Disregard. Probably the best black common in the set. Doesn't kill a lot of things, but it does exile a lot of the smaller creatures, which is not bad. It's pretty good. As I said, probably best black common. Culling Drone, well, it's another bear. It's fine. I'm not going to say it's great. I'm not going to say it's bad. It's just fine. Defiant Bloodlord, so 7 mana is a lot of mana. For a 4/5 flyer, it's okay. It's not super impressive. It's not bad. I'd rather have like the 7 mana Angel than I would have the 7 mana Bloodlord. So I think it's like okay. You might want to try it and test it out. I've not been super impressed with what I think. Demon's Grasp. Well, it's a 5 mana removal spell of sorts, and we've gotten used to our 5 mana removal spells on Holy Hunger. All of these 5 mana ones. It's gonna be playable. It's not gonna be bad. It's not gonna be great. You're just gonna play. You're gonna play your copies. And you'll be like, okay. I'm going to kill most things in this format. Dominator Drones, pretty bad. 2 toughness means it'll trade down with all the bears that we've already seen, and it's not necessarily worth the upset of paying 1 more to just drain 2 life. It's not that good. Drana, on the other hand, so Drana was a complete bomb in Rise, and she's a different kind of bomb in this limited format. It's like, do you have an answer? If no, I win target game. Remember, she does have First Strike, so if she attacks and she does First Strike damage, your entire team gets bigger after that. So keep that in mind. Very good. Dutiful Return makes its return after being in Khan's block. I didn't like it before. I don't like it now. Geyserfield Stalker also feels like another Prickle Boar. So it's a 5 power guy during your turn, and then a 3 power guy elsewise. It has Menace, which is not unreasonable. I think it's like, okay, maybe you play a copy if you just need the 5-drop. Grave Birthing, it's okay. It's okay. It's basically 3 mana, cycle, put a 1/1 in play. The opponent does not need to have a card to be able to exile, but it does exile a card, which is relevant. It's okay. I'll play a copy if I just need to fill my curve, and it's like, well, I guess I'll just have it. Grip of Desolation feels really good. So not only is it an instant speed into the Maw of Hell, the fact that there's a ton of awakened creatures means that it could be just a solid 2-for-1. I think this card's great, and just being able to kill any creature for 6 mana, I'm a huge fan of this card. Ghoul-Draw's Overseer is also pretty solid. I mean, it is just a 6 mana 3/4 flyer, and then it itself doesn't get the bonus from landfall, so, if you just would play lands and it'd be like, okay, I get to attack for 4 in the air, that's pretty nice. I think it's playable. The fact it costs 6 and not 7 is not an irrelevant number, so you're more likely to cast it. So I think it's okay. It's not going to be super mega ultra bomb rare, but it's not bad. Hagar Sharpshooter. So this is, you're paying a little bit extra for your bear, but it can make combat really difficult for your opponent. Sometimes you just pick off 1/1s, so you just gotta kill a Scion. But sometimes it's like, oh, you sure you want to trade there? You're gonna downgrade your creature, so it's not bad. It's playable. And I'd probably play a couple copies, but not much more than that. Colostria Healer seems pretty bad. Though, there's a caveat here. If you draft the life gain deck, this is exactly what you need. Because it triggers off other allies. Most of the vampires are allies, so you get to have a lot of the effects. So if you're in that deck, this is the card you want. If you're not in that deck, don't play it. The body's not worth it. Colostria Nightwatch, it's pretty nice. You get it to become a flyer every time you gain life, so that's not bad. 5 mana, 4/5, not the best body, but if you have way to gain life, I'd play a copy or two. Malakar Familiar, even if it didn't have this whenever you gain life trigger, just a 3 mana, 2/1 flying death touch, I'd play this card. Every deck. Card's very good. Very, very good. As long as you can make it even bigger, which it'll probably still trade because there's a lot of 2-power flyers, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's pretty good. It's pretty solid. Mind Raker is okay. It's a 4 mana. It's another heal giant. In case you haven't noticed, there's a lot of heal giants and there's a lot of 2/2s. So anything that has 4 toughness is pretty solid, and 4 4/4s are huge in this format. They're just actually huge in this format. Mind Raker, if you're able to get the ability and it's a 4 mana 3/3 that make him discard a card, it's not bad. It's okay. I'd play a copy if I needed to. Myers Malice. So you're overpaying for Mind Rot, but sometimes you get a 3/3 tacked on. It's okay. It's not. I sometimes like Mind Rots are better in sealed because people are playing all their powerful cards. So I'd be more inclined to play a copy, maybe in sealed. I have to say that a bunch because some people think, oh, you just play all copies of Mind Rots. No. Nirkana Assassin basically doesn't have this clause right here. Whenever you gain life, it gets Death Touch. People tend to see when you can gain life. So this clause is basically not there. It's a 3 mana 2/3, which again 3 toughness, not bad. It just dies to a bunch of hill giants though. Aab Necklace is a complete bomb. I mean, I don't need to say he'll opt to be a 2-for-1. Like you play him, you kill a creature, and then they have to kamikaze to kill him. Not bad. Card's very good. Planeswalker's in limited. Like I don't have to say much else. Painful Truths. This is a very good card for limited. I mean, by very good, I mean it's gonna be Sign in Blood or marginally worse Read the Bones at worst, and sometimes it just draws you 3 cards. Card's solid. Definitely a card I'd play in most decks. Retreat Tohaga. I mean, you would draft this in the life gain deck and not otherwise. Because getting Death Touch at sorcery speed, yes, there's the combat trick that puts lands into play, but it's okay. Not great, not bad. Rising Miasma. This is one of those cards that can get you back into a game if you fall behind. It is all creatures get -2/-2, so sometimes you're gonna bring this in the sideboard. It's not absurd, but it's not bad. Ruinous Path. It's removal. I'd play it easy peasy. It's gonna see constructed play too, obviously. Silent Skimmer is great. So apart from being a 4 mana 0/4, and remember 4 toughness, it also, when it attacks, defending player loses 2 life, so it always gets in. It's great in the control shell if you just need a big flying blocker. It's great if you just need to get in little bits of damage at a time. I'm a huge fan of Silent Skimmer. I think it's very good. Skitter Skin, because it can't block, you really need it in an aggressive deck. If you have an aggressive deck, this is exactly the card you want. You're just going to be smashing face. 3 toughness, a little bit on the sad side. Because again, it'll trade with other 4 mana 3/3s, but it can regenerate. So definitely, if you're an aggressive deck, this is exactly what you want to keep smashing face. I'm not a fan of Sudge Crawler. Just going to move on. Smothering Abomination is fantastic. It's a 4/3 flyer for 4, so already very good and limited. And you get to sack a creature, and if you have any silence or whatever, you get to draw cards. And at worst, eventually they set it up so, okay, you sack itself, and then you draw a card. That's the worst case scenario. This card's very good. This card is very bad. Don't play it. Please don't play it. It's a sorcery speed spell. Yes, your colorless creature get first strike, but it's pretty bad. I'm not a fan of Swarm Surge. Transgress the Mind will probably see more play in constructed than in limited. Not a fan of it in limited. Vampiric Rites, again, if you're in the life gain deck, this is your card. If you're not, don't play it. It's actually like not that bad. You just get to invest 1 mana, and then your creatures, like if they're gonna die to removal or anything like that, you can at least get to pay 2 mana to draw a card. So it's not like completely unplayable outside the life gain deck. It's better in sealed because it's a slow grindy card. Voracious Null, 3 mana 2/2. So, you know, downgrading your bear. You could sack a creature to put 2 counters, but only as a sorcery. So, wah, wah, wah. I don't like this guy. If you could do it as an instant, I'd play this guy a lot because the sack effect's pretty relevant. Wasteland Strangler is great. If you ever get to use its ability, it's a 3/2 for 3 that kills a creature. It's Flametongue Kavu. It's so good. It's so good if you could use the ability. And lastly, Zulaport Cutthroat. People always underrate this effect in Limited. It's very good. I would play this guy in basically every single black deck I get. It sometimes it's just like a 2 mana 1/1, so yeah, you're not getting as big a body, but it it drains for 4 life over the course of the game. Or more. It is just you control, so it's not as good as say Blood Artist, but the card's great. If you get multiples, he's just absurd. So huge fan of Zulaport Cutthroat. And that's it for black. So thank you guys all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out the other colors, and I'll see you guys all next time.